what America's port crisis looks like up close, it's not sustainable. So to go on to the last story about supply shortages there's in this article from the New York Times, it talks about one story where customers are calling up this furniture manufacturing company or company, because they're like, hey, we want to get I put my order for my recliner in as I used to be able to get what would take 30 days to get the reclining mechanism for like a recliner from out of China is now taking 6 months to get that reclining mechanism. So, you pile that on with what's going on down in in the article it just talks about Savannah, Georgia, where the crates, the shipping containers are piling up because they don't have enough people to take them, and they're actually getting to a point where they're stacking them 5 high, which actually is a problem apparently for the cranes, because it's harder for them, I guess, to get the leverage to get it up and clear each of the piles. And it's just it's turning into an absolute mess where the people that are running the ports are actually actively looking for storage off-site inland, so that they can pile up stuff outside of the ports, because the things are just getting piled up and they're not able to get through them fast enough. And yeah, it also goes in talking about how companies like Target and Walmart have chartered their own ships, and how like that's not, I don't want to say the word fair, but it makes it really tough on the small business owners who don't necessarily have access to be able to charter their own ship and have stuff come in in theory at will. So you're waiting on, with the labor shortages and things piling up, it just creates a really big problem, especially as we get closer to the Christmas season and people wanting to stockpile up, for the most consumption apparently on the planet, as according to the New York Times, happening here in America leading up to Christmas. So not good, and didn't really offer any kind of long-term solution other than we just have to wait it out and keep plugging away until this becomes not a catastrophe anymore, or a crisis anymore. So we'll see, because I mean there's such a backlog of orders out there too from overseas, that like when these things start showing up and things start to because things aren't all the time. When we have just in time inventory, it's like, oh, we order just what we need, and hopefully it gets here right when we need it, so we don't have to store it. Well, the with everything getting backed up from manufacturing overseas to here, getting onto a boat, to getting, showing up all at the same time on the seas of America, or the shores of America, it creates a pretty big problem that they don't have the capability to, because I guess because it's such a rubber banding effect of like, there's a bunch of stuff's coming all at once, and then all of a sudden there's like a shrinkage of stuff showing up, and then all over again, and then back to shrinkage. So creates a lot of issues from a time management perspective, and that's one of the reasons I always preach that you guys and gals who are small business owners, entrepreneurs, you have to be able to do the things that are necessary to make it happen, right? So if you weren't able to order, and there, or you could order from overseas, and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, cool, it's going to be, what might have been 3 months is not going to be 6 months, or maybe 8 months. Maybe it's time that you look for other manufacturing elsewhere, maybe in the States, and we start manufacturing things here. But with the labor shortages, that creates another problem. And then the raw material shortage, that we've gone through over the last 18 months has not been great either. So the way I see it is like, if you can navigate through this, you'll be able to navigate through probably any time going forward with your business, especially if you're just getting started. Like, this is just another major bump in the road. And just like in 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, just like after September 11th with the travel industry, just like in the 80s with the recession that we went through. um, you know it's it's just another bump in the road, and we as entrepreneurs have to be problem solvers, and that's our number one job: solve the problems, figure out the solutions. And if we work together, you lay on your network, rely on your network there, then you might be able to get those problems solved. And I hope that whatever you're struggling through right now to solve, uh, that you are able to take the time to step back, slow it down, and start to solve the problems one at a time, because otherwise it's just too big. Becomes a mountain of problems that you have to solve all at once, and you have to be able to step back, strip it down to one problem, one step at a time. And as my grandfather would say, just keep stroking, keep going every day. Solve the next problem, next step, next step, next step, and we'll get through this together.